we have installed WebLogic on Linux by creating a default user and group and allocating the permissions and changing the ownership. After that, we have learnt about the core components of WebLogic, right? So what are the core components of WebLogic? The high level component is domain. What does the domain contain? It contains all the WebLogic instances, WebLogic resources, configuration, deployments, and any other libraries and product files, right? So the next component is admin server, and manage server is also a component. Node manager is a component that represents a machine, and machine is also a component to which the created managed servers will be assigned to, and the machine is represented by node manager. So we have seen that in the picture as well. Let us, and also we have started the admin server, and today we will see, while starting the admin server, what are the things the server will look for and what exactly the server needs when it starts up. So if you're starting a bike or a car, what are the things you need? You need a key, you need a fuel, petrol or diesel, right? You need engine, you should have tires, all these things, clutch, accelerator, all these things. So then only your engine will start. So in order to start the Java based application server, if it is an engine, so while starting up, it will check all the required things are available or not, in the right place, in the right path, in the right flow, correct? So this is not only with the WebLogic server. If you consider any service, it may be an Apache, it may be a Tomcat, WAS, JBoss, anything, even Docker also. So any service, when you start up, the first thing the service required is, okay, let me type it here. If you are starting any process or a service, then the primary things the service needs is, what do you think? System resources. The main thing is memory, CPU. You can also say processor. And disk and disk. So these are the primary things that are required whenever you start any service or a process, correct? So I'll show you. Right click and where is it? Okay. You open the task manager, you will see on the left side, these are all the services running on my operating system, and this is the processor, the percentage of central processor unit it is consuming, and the memory each process is consuming, and the disk each process is writing I/O, input and output, and it shows the network, power usage, also all these things. If you click on performance, you can see the overall system performance. So what is the uptime? You can see the uptime as well, where it will be. Yeah, here. I have started this machine before 2 hours. All right. So this is my memory, which is RAM. Available is 5.1. In use is 6.7. From this 6.7 GB, 2.5 is allocated to this CentOS, right? So disk. So continuously, all my programs, my MS Word, the Teams software, and the VMware, everything, whatever the services, not only these services, but also the operating system services will be writing the file and reading the files continuously in the background. With that, we may not be able to see, right? So these are all the required things, the primary things, and the secondary things are the service related um, service related components or libraries or dependencies, whatever it is. So let us see here. So I'm going to start WebLogic, right? So what do you see? The first thing, what do you see? It is it is asking my CentOS operating system, the admin server. So this command is to start the admin server, right? So this service is asking my local operating system that it needs minimum of 256 MB and the maximum of 512 MB, which is default heap size of an admin server. So once the maximum heap is allocated for your process or service, then it is trying to fetch all the required jar files, which are libraries, all the modules, all the other dependencies, right? And whatever it needs, right? See, what is the class path? The other day we have discussed what is a class, what is a library, how the libraries are built up, right? So if you see, on the class path is an environment variable, the most important environment variable that is used by WebLogic instances for startup and to process, to continuously run the process, right? So if you see this class path, it is loading something from Java, the installed Java from the libraries tools.jar. So our Java that we have installed on this operating system, that particular version is facilitating the required standards and libraries to our WebLogic server, right? So it is loading from Oracle Home WL server lib weblogic.jar. So this is the most important library. So all the instances, WebLogic instances, all in the sense there are only two, admin and manage servers. So without this weblogic.jar file, the you cannot start the server. So that is why it is loading this library, and it is like using some other library. It is loading here. Oracle, yeah, node manager component is it is loading some local derbynet and derby client local database, and what else, yeah. So this means to start up this WebLogic instance, it needs Java related libraries and it needs your WebLogic libraries and some other dependencies and some other components. So this is a class path. So this class path is related to your WebLogic. All right. Let me copy this. So class path. Class path is WebLogic environment variable that loads whatever is mapped here. The above libraries loaded default to start up. The next one is path. So what is this path? Is it a WebLogic related one or a Linux related one? Operating system. So we know Windows and Linux operating systems, everything has a system variable, right? So this is system variable because see on the system you see base domain bin and here WL server bin. So the commands that we start from this, I am starting weblogic.sh. So it is mapped with the WL server. Let me show you here. Home, WL server bin. It has some WLS environment variables, right? So from here, it sets the required environment variable. You see, class path, your environment has been set. So all the extensions, all the modules, everything is, so it has a Java home, Fusion middleware configuration, class path. So with this file, all the required class paths and paths, all the modules mapped with the environment variables will be loaded. So that is why it is loading all the paths where it can find the related things. So it requires Java to run the environment, Java bin, again here Java bin, some local bin, this, and it is also using some system Linux operating systems references. Why? Yeah, it may utilize because the other day we have seen the source code, bytecode, machine understandable format, compilation, all these will be done. So in order to execute your applications, it needs all these references, right? So first of all, the system resources, then WebLogic related libraries loaded, then path. The how you can put it, in order to run your WebLogic server using Java on this particular machine, this path should be having all these references, right? So this is the first thing. Now it is starting the WebLogic server with the line this one. So it is executing internally. When I give start weblogic.sh command, it is using this entire command and it is mentioning it is a WebLogic server. So it contains, see, from the Java folder, it is mentioning it is a server and it needs this much of memory, some compile threshold, copy what it is copying from WebLogic launcher. The class path, yes, it is available because it has already validated here, and the instance name is admin server, and security policy, it is applying the security policy which is under weblogic.policy. So if you look into it, yeah, here the class loader, classes are all the WebLogic related classes, loading, Java agent, some agent.jar for debugging, and home. This is the home. Yeah, dweblogic.home. It has come 2 times. So fine. So we are giving start weblogic.sh, but it is starting the server with all these parameters which are necessary. So then after, the first thing, the first module is security. Then it is starting with the Java. Okay. and management related messages, and WebLogic server state is starting. Now comes into picture the WebLogic thread pool. So what is a thread? Threads are nothing but small processes that runs under a parent process. So what is our parent process? Our parent process is admin server. So this admin server has got a thread pool. We will talk about the thread pool when we get to the performance tuning. But as of now, just understand it has got a thread pool. Uh, it creates threads, and these threads will execute in the application server to do our job. So whatever you're opening admin console, you're doing some configuration, you're deploying application. So what are all the things you do? Those things will be done by the threads on this server. In order to make these threads work, what is consumed? The processor is consumed. So memory is the brain and the processor is the hard worker. So without the processor, nothing can be done. All right. So thread pool started and logging service started. So why logging service? Because if you're what is happening on your server, everything has to be logged into some log. All the messages has to be logged into some files so that you can read it if there is any issue or there is any deviation, there is some warnings, or so what is wrong, or if there is any issue you can find out from the logs. Then after, again, security, this is validating the security, my realm. So yesterday while creating the domain, we have created an administrator account. So WebLogic and WebLogic 123, the credentials. So it has initialized, then post initializing. So it has validated the username and password. So how did it validate the username and password? So if you check user projects, domains, base domain, uh, servers, only one server, admin server. Under this, we have started the server, right? So logs created, temp, data, and caching. So everything is created. So if you open the security, there will be one file. So what is it? What is this? It is boot.properties file. If you catch this boot.properties file, so it says this file is generated by the configuration wizard on Monday, February 17th at 8:30. So username and password, it is encrypted. Now here, when it is starting the server, it is loading this file and it is using this username and password to start your admin server, automatically reading this file. Okay, so where is this file present? It is present under this location, under your server. Admin server starts okay. And the admin server starts, it loads the credentials, the boot.properties available in the below. Right. So let us do one thing. I will do it boot.properties boot.properties.bkb. Okay, I have changed the file name. Now you see the server is in running state, right? So I'll shut down the process. Now I'll start it again. So what is it asking? At the security, yeah, it is asking to enter the username to boot. So it is getting the boot identity from the user. Why? Because I have changed the name. Got it? So I have to provide it in the runtime. WebLogic 1, 2, 3. Now it is starting again, right? So yeah, it is validating here. Validation done. So this is saved under my realm. It is under security, the username and password. So now it is running. So this is how the security works. Let me change it back. Move. So yeah, once the security is fine, now the server starts it started declaring that the JMX connector server started at JMX API using the protocol IIOP, and this is the listen address and port number. So what does it mean? So this is yesterday we have discussed, right? So the communication between components in the domain happens on IIOP protocol with JEMX API using beans. Beans are called message beans. And beans carry information and status, right? It carry information and status, and this will be passed in the runtime to other components. So what happens is when I start a managed server, my managed server automatically it connects with the admin server using this JMX. Why? Because it is open. Whatever is linked with your domain, if you're creating a managed server under a domain, so that managed server by default it will search for the admin server. Okay, even the standalone server also. So this is JMX connectivity. Then after standby, again starting log monitoring, admin resuming. Finally, the channel, it has opened a default channel which is listening on this listen address for all these protocols. What are the protocols that WebLogic supports? It supports all these protocols. Once the WebLogic instance is started, listens, default, listens on a listen address So IIOP, JMX, T3, yeah, T3 protocol is a proprietary protocol only for WebLogic. So this you cannot find this T3 protocol in WebSphere or JBoss or Tomcat. All right. So this is also for internal communication. You can connect with the scripting tool to the domain, right? You can also connect a managed server to an admin server using this T3 protocol. LDAP, lightweight directory access protocol. So SNMP, simple naming messaging process or protocol. So for mailing purpose, and HTTP for application access. So these are the protocols. If you enable the SSL security, IIOPS, T3S, LDAPS, HTTPS, all these will be open. Now, the server started in running mode and the threads started executing. Okay, so this is how a server is started. This is a startup behavior of your server. So if you want to see the log, um, so this is my path, present working directory under my admin server. Go to the logs. So there are different logs. There is access log. We'll talk about this later. Admin server.log, and this is another same admin server.log, but yes, it has been rotated, meaning because of size or because of time, it will create multiple logs. Now this is a current log. Base domain, this is a domain level log. So within your entire domain, it contains the messages about all the core components of your domain. But admin server.log, it contains only the admin server related information, right? As your domain is operated by the admin server, the domain base domain.log is under admin server. Clear? So access log. Access log is, it is the name itself is declaring that it writes all the access related information. So if you have deployed any applications on admin server and you are accessing the admin the applications, so your all the requests will be logged into access.log. So let us see admin server.log. So this is the information. It starts with the timestamp and what level of log. It is giving you information about security on this particular machine, our host name, and this is some code, severity value. Okay, so this is how you need to read a log or timestamp. So let us say like there was an issue and the customer says, the client says that it happened yesterday at 8:30. Okay, so I'll go and search this log or this log. Yeah, so Feb 17, 2025, 8, 37, nothing, 6, yes, I got it. So this is how I filtered the logs. So at 8:36, these are the log messages printed. Okay, so everything it says info, info, info. So if there is any issue or error, it will show error, 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 or critical or warning, right? So this is how you read the log of a particular.
Sir, you are not audible.
I'm not audible.
No, you are audible.
You're audible, sir.
Okay.
Sir, I have one doubt.
Yeah.
Right now we have started the admin server, right?
Yes.
Whenever we start WebLogic.sh, which means it is started admin server only. It is not
Yes.
managed server.
Yes.
Right now it is domain mode, sir.
There is only one mode in WebLogic. It is domain mode.
Okay.
Yeah. So in the domain mode, domain is not a mode in WebLogic, first of all. All right. So domain, you create this domain in order to create the managed servers in the standalone mode or clustering mode. So that is secondary. Standalone, high availability, that is secondary. So in order to set up your environment, first of all, you need to create a domain. Okay, without creating a domain, you cannot create a managed server. You cannot create a standalone. You cannot create anything. So go through the document and the recording about yesterday's. You will find out, right? So, or else simply I can say this is with if you have a particular time, I can also look for error, right? It is showing error. Errors found in resource adapter, or see no complaints or validation errors found, right? Warning, no warnings. Okay, uh, running, yeah, running threads, server. Okay, so this is how you will check. Or else, if you don't want to get inside the log, you can just grep -i uh, what running run. It will pull out all the information. So if you want to check for errors, you can directly give error or fail, no errors, or simply will give error. Yeah, no errors found. So this is the command to pull out the details. Okay, for the logs, right? So we have seen about the security and the TMP. Temp is the area. It is a workspace area where your admin server will do all the uh, work under temp. Cache, yes, it states the information, the current state of your applications and other libraries into the cache. Data, yeah, it is important. This data contains the LDAP, integrated embedded LDAP. So whenever you log in to the uh, admin server, your authentication is done here. So it creates some LDAP files. So these files will help you. See, it is authorization. So based on your role, we have created admin account. So we'll get the authorization provided by the role, right? It is, and this one is a credential mapper. This is the authentication. So first authentication is done and authorization based on the role. Credential mapping in the sense there will be different users, right? Monitor, uh, admin, configurator, deployer. So these are all the files that helps with authentication, authorization, credential mapping, and role mapping. So all these will be stored under LDAP. Some store. Yeah, this is diagnostics, not related to us. So right now there is only one server. Okay, and our admin server is listening on this port number. We can access. Let me check here. Grep Java, and this is our WebLogic server process ID. Let's add -ntp. It is listening on correct. Yeah, it is listening. Okay, fine. I'm trying to open the port number. Okay. Yeah. So now you see it is deploying the application for console. So what does it say? This application is deployed on the first access. You can change this application to instead deploy during the startup. So uh, this console application, right? We are using this context root to open this application, web application. It itself, admin console itself is a web application. So this application is getting deployed on the admin server when we open this URL. Okay, when we open this URL, it is deploying the application. So we can make this deployed when the server is getting started. When the server is getting started. So that is what it is saying. You can change this application to instead deploy during the startup. Refer to the instructions on demand deployment documentation. So the first thing, go to the base domain here, click on the base domain, and here enable on demand. Okay, this one you just uncheck it, save it. So the next time you open this application, I'll close this one. Now again I will open. Directly it is opening, right? So now it is deployed. So after the server restart, at the time of starting the server, this application will be deployed on the admin server, and it will open it for us. So log into the admin console, and this is our dashboard. So this is the admin console, and if you see servers, clusters, machines, and data sources, work managers, virtual targets, everything is here. So if you click on servers, it will show how many servers are present in this domain. There is only one server. Any questions until now? Because the next thing is I'm going to create a standalone managed server.
Yeah, yes, I have one question.
Yeah.
Can you please explain the states while the server is starting? We could able to
Yes.
see standby, starting, running. So what are those states?
Yes. So it is a different states of admin server, standby and resuming. So see, when the server is getting started, it will look for all the resources, and it will try to start internal sub services and sub processes. So when it is starting and looking for the resources, it changes its states continuously. Okay, it will go to standby, wait for some time until it gets the resource. Okay, again it starts. Once it is trying to open something, it will wait for some time, it will go to some other state, and again it will start. So this server life cycle we will understand in the next session. Okay, so this is the normal thing I'm explaining you. We have different life cycles like deployment life cycle, server life cycle. Okay, we will see all these life cycles. In the next class, we will see manage server life cycle. So that one also has got life cycles, right?
Okay.
Yeah, we will see that. I have a document here. Chan. Taking classes. Recently, I have explained that. January. Yeah. Yeah, different states of server. Okay, so we'll have this, okay, running, shutdown, fail, and other admin. So all these are uh, like, for your reference, you can read this document. So it will get heavy, you know, before, if I explain you without the practical one, it will get heavy. You will not understand all this theory. So that is why I didn't tell. I saved it for the next session. Fine. Um, okay. So now this is my admin server and it is configured and its status is running. Health is okay, and this is the port number. So if you go scroll down, it is the system status. Like, okay, now admin server is okay. So if there are any warnings, your server will come into warning state, overloaded. If it is overloaded, the load is heavy, or the scarcity of system resources like memory, or stuck threads or something. Then once it is overloaded, if you don't troubleshoot it, it will go into critical. Once it reaches critical, it will go into failed state. So bottom to top. So this is how the server status, at the runtime. It may Warning means, there may be some security related warnings. You can ignore that. Other than security related, you have to look into the issue. So this is about all the servers in the domain. Okay. So health of running servers at 8:05. So before 4 minutes. So this means what? Continuously, the all the information, all the status of all the uh, configuration and the services, the sub-services, everything is getting monitored and loaded up here. So this entire background related information is shown here, and it is collected with the help of mbeans. Okay. Now, if you collapse this plus symbol, you can see servers, clusters, right? Some coherence, resource groups, all these things, machines. We don't have any machine here. We haven't created any machine. So let us go to the server. If you want to create a new server, click on new.
Sir, here default port number is 7001, right? For console.
Yes, yes. But yesterday I have shown we can also customize it.
Yes.
We can also change to whatever the port number we want.
Okay.
So managed server 1 and listen address, okay, 130, that is 254.130 and 9500. It is asking, should this should this server belong to a cluster? No, this is standalone server, or you can create a cluster from here also. So I have given the required details. Click on next. Okay, so the name of the server, the listen address, and the port number on which this server has to listen. Finish. Okay, so now it is in shutdown state. So let us check. The configuration file. I'll go to config, vim config, or else, okay, config.xml. Managed, you see, manage server. There is earlier it was only admin server. Now manage server 1, port number, it is added here. Okay.
Sir,
So
here while we are giving 9500, right? It is
yeah,
by default we are giving. While setting up, we have to ask network team the port is open or not. like this we have to give?
See,
Like which port we have to?
without you creating the port number, you cannot ask the network team to open the port number, right? So first you need to create and then ask the network team, okay, this is the port number on which our WebLogic service is running. Please open this port number.
Okay.
Or else, if the Linux operating system is hardened for security, and if anyone is giving you to create these servers with these port numbers only, then you can allocate those port numbers, or else you can give whatever the port number you want.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So, or else,
Sir, there would be some
yeah.
story behind the port numbers, right? Which ports we have to use from. There is some starting point, right? I forget actually. So, what ports we have to use and up to which extent?
Yes, yes. I'll tell you. I'll tell you. Once you see that manage server, it is under config.xml, it is stored. Okay, fine. So right now it is saying shutdown. How did it get the information? Anyone? How did my admin server
Sir,
came to know
we have
that
to
this
From the
is,
click
node
on.
from the node manager.
there is no node manager? I haven't
Uh,
created any node manager.
I think by default, the moment we create the server, it will create the node manager service.
Mhm.
No,
No, no, we have. See, to get the node manager service, which component you have to create?
Sir, we have to create machine, right?
Exactly. You
hmm.
have to create machine. So we have not created any machines. If you click on machines, there is no machine, right?
Okay.
Okay. Now, let me show you. I'll go to bin, right? This is my location. I'll say start managed WebLogic. So managed WebLogic means managed server. So what is my managed server name? Managed server 1. And I can mention the admin servers. Okay, I'll not mention the admin servers URL. I'll simply give enter. So this one also has the same kind of startup behavior, right? So because it is also a WebLogic server instance. Now it will ask for username and password, because for managed servers, the boot.properties will not be created. I have provided the credentials, the same for the domain. WebLogic, I have not created, sorry, I have entered the server name managed is unknown to the admin server. Check the if restart is required. Okay, how do you check if the restart is required? Click on this views, view changes and restarts. Go to the restart checklist. Now here our admin server needs a restart. Okay, I have clicked on restart. It cannot be restarted. Why? Because this is not associated with any machine. Okay. So whenever you want to restart something from the admin console, there is a need of node manager. But I can restart my admin server from here, right? I can shut down and I can start again. But from the admin console, you need node manager. So this one, it is the server name managed server is unknown to the admin server. Check if the restart is required. It is saying clearly restart the admin server. Why? Because the first time you start a managed server, this managed server needs the configuration. The configuration is available with the admin server domain. So admin server, without restarting it, it was not able to fetch the configuration. So configuration management. What is it? Error. Okay. So this is how you find out the issues. So admin server started. Now see, we'll start again. This time it will ask the admin server to give the configuration and it will store it locally. So this JMX connector service started. So current log, it has created logs for managed server. All the server side log events will be written to this file, which is managed server.log. So security validation is happening. Now here also JMX connector started on which port number? 9500. Now the communication will start between admin server and managed server. Okay, now it is running, right? So let us go back to the servers. We need to log in, I think. Yeah. Okay. Now click on the servers. Now it is running. So did we create any machine or node manager? There are no machines, there are no node managers. So let us create one machine. Okay, I'll give like a local machine. Next. So, okay, I'll change it to plain. I'll explain this later. Listen address, local host, and this node manager. See, here node manager properties. So when you're creating a machine, you need to pass the node manager properties because the node manager represents the machine, and it itself is a process that will monitor your services. So this is the default port number, default listen address. Finish. Now the machine is created. Click on this machine. Click on monitoring. It is inactive. Why? Because this service we have not started. Configuration of node manager. This is a configuration we have stored. Okay, let us take another duplicate tab. Middleware of user projects, domains, base domain. Before that, node manager dot is secure listener. It is true. I want to make it false. I'll tell you the reason. Because here we have changed the type from SSL to plain. So SSL we are not using. If you are selecting SSL, yeah, that is supported in production mode domain. False. Okay. Node manager service. So it loads the node manager.properties file from the node manager home. Now it is plain socket listener on 5556 localhost and loopback IP. So these are the properties. I have changed this secure listener to false. Fine. So let us see now here monitoring. It is reachable and version is this one. Okay. So I want to stop manage server. Will it stop now? Yeah. Anyone?
It has to, but I don't think we haven't enabled anywhere auto start. I'm not sure.
Okay. Yeah. So actually, this is development mode. Actually, the thing is, uh, how come it sent the stop command? So it has not received any command. See here, manage server machine, it is empty. You see, it has directly sent the command to through the JMX connector to the manage server without sending it to node manager. Why? Because we have
We
not
have to assign.
assigned the node manager. Yes. Click on the manage server. Now here machine, select local machine, save. Now come back here, check the restarts, restart checklist. Okay, there are no restarts required. Come back to the servers, control, select the manage server and start. Okay, a request has been sent to the node manager to start the selected servers. Let us see here. This is the node manager, right? Here. Uh, this was the last line. So now the node manager received the request to start the manage server. So it has started creating some directories and it is working to start the manage server. You can come back here and click on reload. It will show you the status once it's done. So you see here, task in progress, 47 seconds starting. So it is sending the command to the node manager. If you open the yesterday's or day before yesterday's documents, you can see from this admin console, when I send the stop or start command, it goes to the admin server and the admin server will communicate with the node manager and the node manager will initiate a process on this machine to start the manage server. The manage server 1 is running now. Here you see it is closed. Now the node manager has taken up the responsibility to start and stop. Now I will send stop command. Now it has received the stop command. The server manager with the process ID is no longer alive, waiting for the process to die. Alright, now start. Again, it has received, it is using the boot properties under this location to start. It has rotated output log to out 0 1. Now it has started. Okay, so we have assigned the machine to manage server, and this manage server is on the same machine, right? You can see the IP, it is 130 and this is 130. So now if I have another VM here, suppose WebLogic machine, and it has got some other IP, I can create a machine with that IP and manage server with that IP, and I can operate from this admin console. I can send commands to my remote machine, which is this one. Okay. So coming back to the question, port numbers. Yeah.
A quick question to this topic.
Yes.
Just
Yes.
now you said, right, we are going to send a request to the remote server. So in that case, is that server is going to be having the same domain, or it is okay to have in different domain?
You cannot access the servers in another domain.
Okay.
The server has to be in the same domain.
Okay. Okay.
If it is in another domain, you will use that domain's admin server.
Okay.
And
So
the managed servers will not have the admin console
yeah.
in WebLogic. But in WebSphere, it will have, in JBoss also, the standalone servers will have its own web consoles. Here in WebLogic, no admin console for managed server. So port numbers, 0 to, actually it is 1 to 1024 are preoccupied and can be used only if you have pseudo privileges. But you cannot use super user to work with WebLogic services, right? So
Sorry.
you don't use root privileges to work with WebLogic.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So in order to use these, you need to have you need to change permissions for some files. So actually 0 to 1024 you will not use for application servers, right? Not in WebSphere, not in JBoss, not in Tomcat, not in WebLogic. So if you see all the default port numbers, either it starts with 7000 or plus, or 8000 plus, or 9000 plus. No application server, even Tomcat, it will listen on 8080, right? So there
Yeah.
may be, but IHS, Apache web servers, they use 80 and 443. So there it is allowed. And OHS, which is Oracle HTTP server, numbers, HTTP is 7777 and HTTPS is 9999. All right. Unlike Apache and IHS and Apache uses 80 and 443, right? So you will have the pseudo privileges there. But as it is Oracle's limitation that you have to use non-root user, so that is why uh, even for the HTTP server, it is providing these as default port numbers. So you may get a requirement, because long back, like some 2 or 3 years before, I have got a requirement for OHS from one of the Malaysian clients to change the port numbers to 80 and 443. So at that time, I had to change few files and configuration changes. Open to make OHS run on uh, run using 80 and 443. You can do. Oracle has a documentation on this. I have followed the documentation. And the limitations. the port limitations. You can use up to some 65,000 change. I don't remember the exact number, but yes, I remember the first two letters, 65,000 change. Somewhere, I think while creating a domain, you will see the port number, it will mention below. You can use up to this number. You can, while creating a domain, you check it and put me a screenshot. Whoever wants to practice, it will, this number will be shown somewhere while creating a domain, I think. If you find out, you just post a screenshot. All right. So this is, now we are getting into core concept. Uh, I think Rafi, I'm not sure whether he'll. Salim, you just check with him because yesterday also he did not join. And
Yeah.
Yeah, and Srinivas, uh, you need to be more attentive, and learn the Linux commands, practice. Uh, Guys, like you will not be able to learn any tool without practicing it. So having only the theoretical knowledge will not help. Okay. So while listening to the classes and recordings, it will look easy, but when you start working, there you will find issues, right?
Okay.
Yeah. No matter how much experience I have got, if I am going to learn a new tool, I cannot just watch on the YouTube or somewhere and think that I have learned the tool. No, I have to practice it multiple times. I should get issues. I should get errors. Then only I'll be able to learn it, right? So the practice gives you more experience and knowledge, not the theoretical one, right? So I recommend everyone start the installation and setup and come up with issues so that we can clear out and move forward into the core concepts, deep dive into advanced administration. All right, so we'll wrap it up today and we'll catch up tomorrow then.
Right.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.